My name is Frédérique Valliere and I am the Principal Investigator for the Context Programme. Context is a 4-year European Commission-funded doctoral training programme which stands for the Collaborative Network for Training and Excellence in Psychotraumatology. As part of Context, we have 12 doctoral researchers who will spend 50% of their time in the academic setting, so either at Trinity College Dublin, Ulster University, or the University of Southern Denmark, and then all of them get to go and conduct their research within either a civil society partner or government organisation, of which there are 6. All of the doctoral researchers will conduct their research with individuals who have experienced some sort of traumatic life event. And the aim here is that their research will influence better evidence, better policy, better practice in order to improve mental health services for those individuals. So Context's mission is to engage partners across all sectors in order to promote better mental health across a number of different individuals, both within Ireland and in a more global context as well.
My name is Larissa. I'm from the United States, and I'm a researcher at Trinity College Dublin, and I'll be working with the Police Service of Northern Ireland. Although police officers are very resilient, rates of adverse mental health outcomes for police officers are on the rise. In Northern Ireland, there's been a 60% increase in sick days taken due to psychological reasons over just the last 3 years. My research will identify the key risk factors for adverse mental health outcomes for police officers, and I'll develop recommendations towards a trauma risk management strategy for the Police Service of Northern Ireland.
Hi, I'm Christina from Dublin. I'm a researcher with Ulster University and Sparasi. In 2016 alone, 65.6 million people were forced to flee their countries. We tend to assume that reaching a safe country naturally equates to improvements in mental well-being, but this is not necessarily the case. We know of the experiences that force people to flee their countries of origin, but a lot less is known about how a new living environment impacts upon mental health. I'll be working with Sparasi to examine the relationship between social factors and psychological outcomes in these populations. Hopefully this will enable better service provision from the point of intake assessment.
Asylum seekers and refugees resettled in Ireland come from a variety of different countries and cultural backgrounds. They have also typically been exposed to some horrific situations, such as torture and sexual violence. These experiences can lead to the development of traumatic stress. The majority of research concerning traumatic stress is conducted with weird samples, meaning that individuals in these studies come from Western, educated, industrialised, rich and democratic societies. My research will investigate whether culture makes a difference in terms of how people respond to trauma. For example, someone who's experienced sexual assault in Ireland might respond differently to someone who's experienced sexual assault and comes from the Middle East. This research will help us to identify whether we are appropriately responding to the mental health needs of asylum seekers and refugees.
My name is Kinan. I'm from Syria and I'm a researcher with Trinity College Dublin and the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. I'm looking at the volunteers, the humanitarian volunteers' well-being in post-conflicts. Humanitarian volunteers work under stressful conditions. They face dangerous situations while they're operating. They work for long shifts where they don't have enough resources to support them. And as volunteers, not professionals, they are not prepared enough to deal with these situations. My research trying to investigate how implementing support program can help in improving the volunteers' well-being. And the findings will help the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent in responding to the volunteers' psychosocial needs.
My name is Camila. I come from Cuba and I'm a researcher at Trinity College Dublin. I am conducted my research with the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Society. During the last 2 years, Colombia has continuously ranked as either the first or second country with the highest number of internally displaced persons in the world. Internally displaced persons are forced to flee their homes because of conflict or violence, but stay within the borders of their region. Colombian IDPs often live in places where there are no psychologists. So I will be working with the Red Cross to study how persons that don't have a background in mental health can be trained to provide help to internally displaced persons in Colombia.
My name is Ida. I'm from Denmark and I'm a researcher with Trinity College Dublin and the Danish Children's Centre Copenhagen. Children exposed to one type of abuse, for example sexual abuse, are likely to have experienced additional forms of maltreatment. An exposure to multiple types of victimization, also known as poly-victimization, is a powerful predictor of mental health problems among children and youth. My project investigates the role of poly-victimization in explaining adverse mental health outcomes among children and youth, and provides recommendations for future interdisciplinary case management and treatment interventions for poly-victimized children.
Hi, my name is Kate. I'm from Ireland and I'll be working with the Dublin Rape Crisis Centre. Sexual assault can have a profound impact on your mental health. However, the pathways to seeking professional help after a sexual assault can be difficult to navigate. I'm hoping to identify some of the barriers and facilitators to accessing sexual assault support services, such as the Dublin Rape Crisis Centre. Findings will inform recommendations to make these services more accessible for those that need them.